Hello there, 585ers. Let's look at what we want to start Monday when I see you again. Other information about Monday is that we will be back in our old digs in 201G. That's the very large, I call it the fishbowl room there in the ERTC for those of you who have never had classes in the ERTC before. So we'll be in 201G. Look forward to being there with you. What I asked you to do over this long period that you've had, and I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I sure did. We're going to start talking about the Michael Fullen's book called Stratosphere. For such a slim volume, I find it to be an amazing little book. I hope you're finding that as well. I hope you've at least read the introduction in chapter 1. If you've gone through chapters 2 and 3, I imagine you are ready to explode with responses and ideas about some of the very strongly worded statements that he makes in these two chapters. I also feel like the chapter number 2 is a real downer. And chapter 3, I think he starts putting out ideas that offer some hope for technology use. I hope you realize that the Stratosphere book is an ode to technology love. It's not a love fest for technology. It is more a cry for how education is not realizing who their students are anymore and that they have changed. Well, we'll talk a lot about that on Monday. I plan on us using the couches and chairs out in the RTC to get comfortable and have good conversations around all this. Those of you who will be joining us online, we're going to be carrying you into the conversation via a laptop so you can become a part of the conversation and hear the conversation just as much as anyone else. And I hope you will join in. Let me give you a sense of how this is going to work. We will meet and greet and make sure that we're all on the same page. If we need to take the time, I will be glad to give you time to read or reread or look through the book to make sure that the things that he has talked to you about in chapters 2 and 3 are fresh in your mind. We will be working with our Edmodo site. And here it is. I've put a lot of stuff in here for you to look at. By the way, all that noise is my various devices telling me that things are coming in. I have put in here some quotes from Dr. Fullen that I hope kind of give you some burst of reaction. But this is not where I want the conversation to start, focus, or end. I want it to be your conversation. I just put this out here because these are the things that sort of slapped me silly when I read the book. I also appreciate the fact that Fullen talks to us about people who I have a great deal of respect for, this guy being one. And you've been around me, you know how much I think of Sir Ken. This particular little video, which I don't think I've ever shown in class before, I think it's a seminal video.
Education is a personal process. It's people who learn. It's a human mind, a human heart that is responding to their own experiences. Great teachers know that. They know that the way you get people to learn is by connecting it to the learner's interest, to what motivates them, what energizes them, what excites them, what engages their imagination.
It's a beautifully made video. Everything he says just resonates with me. And you'll notice, I'm sure, in the book, if you haven't read it yet, you will. Fullen has a great deal of respect for Robinson and points out that he is misunderstood. Some people see Robinson as basically a advocate for the arts and education. He was. But he's also the guy who was put in charge in England of revamping the entire curriculum of English education and did a lot about turning it around. So he's not a one-trick pony. He's the real deal. The other guy he has in here that he talks about is a guy by the name of Mark Prinsky. We used to use Mark Prinsky's book that he talks about in his book called Partnering Pedagogy. I found that it was getting a little stale, and that's when I found this Stratosphere book. That's why I went crazy. Prinsky, though, is worth hearing
So our kids' brains are different
because he makes such an elegant case for that kids have changed.
And so one way to look
He
at
is the guy who came up with the term digital native. Most of you in our class are digital natives. I would be referred to as a digital immigrant with an accent, meaning I get it, I understand most technologies that kids use, but because of my age, I haven't had the experience of living with all of this stuff. So, really looking forward to us playing. But I want to give you a sense of how we're going to create something within the Edmodo structure that is our reaction to, and as you can see here within the Edmodo, I've put in some prompts. You do not have to react to any of these prompts. You can react to your own prompt. And you know that that is a basis of all of my teaching, is I want your ideas. All I do is just throw some ideas out there. But I wanted to show you how it works inside of Edmodo because I think this is so cool. Go over here to the far right side and you see the various apps that I have put in here for Edmodo use. And one of those is Blend Space. Now, when you click on the app, it actually takes you to the Blend Space page. And what we can do at that point is we can now create inside a blend space. Mine's taking a little while here to load. Once we're in here and we create inside a blend space, we can, there it goes, we can then directly dump that into our Edmodo. Now, I don't know if you think that's cool or not. I think that's cool. The ability to be able to take something that you've worked on in another space, like blend space, and then without any fuss, muss, or carrying on, we just go and dump it over into our Edmodo page. And so, like, if I go in here, I think this is something I was playing around with, and click on Untitled, because I really haven't done that much with it, and it comes up and it lets me continue on with what I'm creating. Now, when I see you on Monday, we will be more, I'll give you more information about how blend space works. I would strongly urge you to please go in and look in this module for the blend space tutorial so you can get a sense of how it works. As you can see, blend space is very much a linear tool. If you've ever used VoiceThread before, it's kind of like VoiceThread. It allows you to essentially put anything into it. As you can see, my first one over here is, it says, what is it about the 21st experience that so urgently calls for a change in education? And then I've gone on to basically talk about the things that he talked about. In other words, what is pedagogy? So there's a basic little video there about what pedagogy means. And then I have another video here. Actually, this isn't a video, it's a little graphic that I uploaded. Then I have a video that is just that. It is talking about what does 21st century pedagogy mean. And look at this. You can go over here and you can just search straight into YouTube for stuff that you're looking for. Or you can come in here and put your text box in and, oh my, quiz. Why do we care about quizzes when we're sitting around talking about tell and test and we need to get away from it? Let's talk about that, because I think there's still room for that. As you can see, you can add more rows. It's such a simple, intuitive interface. It's one of the reasons why I love it so much. But here's where I get all kind of goofy about it. So when I go to share, I basically, go ahead, go away. I can tell it to put it into my EDAP 585 Stratosphere book thing. Is that not cool? So I can have this wonderful, approved, blessed even, social media site. And for the first time, I can actually have kids creating within that social media site and then putting it there with just as simple as a click, and then there it goes, because I came out of that site. Now, you might be sitting there going, well, you can do that inside of Facebook. It's called Instagram, or you can do that with Instagram, or you can do, yeah. But I think what gets me so jazzed is the fact that I can do this so that my social media becomes not just people writing posts, but actually creating within it. Okay, so Monday I will see you in room 201G. As I said, if you don't know where it is, just walk in the ERTC. It's the wall full of glass. That's our classroom. I hope you'll have the time over the next few days to at least read a little bit. It's a good book, folks. It's a good read. And then I also hope that you'll actually watch a little bit of Robinson and Prinsky. So we're going to be doing this over the next 2 weeks, okay? I want us to have some fun and enjoy some new technology use. Okay, so I'll see you on Monday, September the 8th. Bye.